with Didrik. We will have a really interesting talk, Didrik, right?
Always,
and it's something that,
Stavros.
yes, and I think it's something that many people have been wondering about. They have been reaching out, and at least in those that I've been talking to, it's quite a common question as to how you can model out different bundling solutions for your for a web shop, for an e-commerce store. And as with many other features in Crystallize, right? It's not one way that we can do this in Crystallize.
There's many ways to roam, or many ways to create your bundles, and it all depends on your needs. So
exactly.
We're gonna come with some examples there, or Stavros is going to show you some examples. I'm gonna do some comments.
Yeah.
If I have any. If not, I'm just going to sit there, Stavros. You do the show.
That's great. That sounds good. Exactly like Didrik said, it's usually a plethora of ways where you can essentially create or manage your content and specifically tailor make that to your needs, right? So we had this discussion with Didrik earlier where, all right, I said that, okay, usually you can do something like this. Didrik said, okay, maybe you can look into bundling another different way. So let's just see how we did here, and hopefully you guys will find this interesting. And just as a heads up, like for today, I think we will be focusing a lot on the different ways where we can bundle things, and not necessarily code and show that information in the front end, right, Didrik? Exactly. But I do have like an example query as to how you can get some relative information for you pretty quickly.
And this is, of course, important to do before we start coding, because you need to have a plan for what you're making. And that's why we do these sessions where you model out your content, what we call content modeling, just to plan out what we are going to create in the front end, or what we are going to fetch, basically.
Yeah, that's totally right. So, all right, without further ado, let's jump on Crystallize and what we have modeled there. So as you can see, hopefully I am in the front page of the dashboard of Crystallize. So I want to first talk about the shapes. So I have created a couple of shapes. As you can see here, it's not the default shapes that you get when you create or when you sign up for a new tenant. So I have over here a regular product, nothing too much, just a standard product shape with a few more content information if you were to add something. So typically you would have your specific marketing material here, videos, rich descriptions, etc., etc. All of this would be standing in here. And I have created two product shapes for bundles. So I have the first one, which is, as you can see, called simple, very simple bundle. So again, the idea here is that, all right, and again, it depends on how you would like to build your web shop. But my idea would be that, imagine you have a web shop and you have your standard products, and then someone can go and purchase bundles of products, so collections of products, all together with a specific price. And the idea there, and the reason why bundles can become quite complex, is that perhaps you would like to handle and manage the stock for each individual product that this bundle consists of individually. So someone purchases a gaming console that includes 2 controllers and a game, and you also sell that individually. Perhaps you would like to deduct the stock for each of 2, let's say, controllers when someone makes a purchase of that bundle, right? And 1 game, basically.
Gaming console and a game.
Gaming console and a game, yeah.
What we often see is that people create different products for bundles. So they have multiple of the same product, like a gaming console in Crystallize would have 1 SKU with a stock.
Correct.
Instead of creating a new product called the gaming console bundle, with a different stock, you would just refer to that as you have here with the item relation component, the bundled products. So we'll just say that, okay, this is a simple bundle. So you will have a price and an image in the editorial experience, but you will also reference the real product, which will then decrease the stock, as I was just mentioning.
Correct, exactly. So this is exactly what we're trying to build here. Essentially build the logic and then handle that individually outside of Crystallize. We'll go through that further down the line. So let's get back to this guy. First one is a simple bundle. It's a relation to items of product shape, as you can see here. So essentially you will be drag and dropping products here to define a bundle. And the idea of it being a product is that I can define a specific price for this bundle, right? So my console with 2 controllers will be, instead of 500 plus 100 plus 100, it will be 600, for instance. So it's a bargain price, whatever you may want to call it. And I have a quantity bundle because essentially in another, let's say, example store, you may want to be able to define that this bundle includes a console plus 3 controllers, for instance, and 3 games, right? So I would be able to define, instead of just the product, I would also be able to define a quantity for this, this is available. So in order to do that, just to go through very quickly on the components here, what we have done is, of course, we have added a very simple description. Maybe you want to add something more in your bundles, but we'll just take it to something super simple here. And I have, as you can see here, created or used the structural component called chunk, essentially allowing me to create groups of various other components in my shape. And I have chosen, of course, as previously shown, the item relation, so I can drag and drop products here. And I have used the numeric component to allow pricing, so I can, or quantity, sorry, excuse me. So essentially, I will be able to define quantity that this product is included in this bundle, right?
Just a heads up to stars, because we talked about this before this live stream. I see that we added min max, which is going to be. Is that right in this case now?
Yeah, I think this is pretty correct. So essentially, as you can see here, you can define like min and maximum values for this product, for this shape. Essentially, when what we want to do here is to be able to drag and drop, and this is a really good clarification there, Didrik, is that I will be able to drag and drop a single product here. So I will not be able to add like 5 different controllers. It will be this controller specifically that is included 5 times in this bundle, for instance. If I had removed that, or had this as a minimum and maximum 4, then I will be able to add from 0 to 4 products in this bundle, which would make it quite inconsistent when we talk semantics, right?
True.
So
I was thinking about something else, but you are totally right, because this is a one-to-one relation, because this is a repeatable chunk that you will repeat for each product. So a controller will have its own chunk, the gaming console will have its own chunk, and for each game, you'll create a separate chunk in that.
Correct. That's exactly, that's a really nice observation again. So basically, we have modified this chunk to be a repeatable one instead of being a single one. And of course, as you can probably imagine, repeatable means that I can, of course, create multiple of these chunks here, each with its own relation and quantity components included.
Yeah.
All right.
We could also, just for clarifying, we could restrict the item relation to a product.
Yes. Oh, sure.
Let's do that.
Boom.
And also for units, let's add the quantity as a unit.
Let's do here.
Just to
or pieces.
QTI or quantity. Oh, you actually managed to spell it. Not bad.
On live TV.
Yeah, you're on live TV. So of course, here we can add multiple quantities, or not quantities, but units. It
could be units, pieces. It could be whatever you want to call that, I guess.
Yeah, and then in the UI, you would get a drop down stating that you need to select what type of number this is, what type of quantity. But for now, quantity is what it is.
I think it's fine for now. Yeah. Cool. All right. So let's jump on my catalog very briefly. So as you can see here on the left-hand side, I have my shop. Again, as simple as possible. And underneath this shop, I have products and bundles. So essentially, if I had to build a navigation, someone could go and purchase individual products, or they could go and purchase my bundles, right? So I will go to my products. I have electronics and beauty because don't ask why. That's what I'm selling in my store. And here, for instance, if we go to one of my gaming consoles, it's a very standard product. It has just an image, some stock information, SKU, price, and the sales price, right? Same goes with all the other things that I have here in my electronics store, keyboard and a mouse, etc., etc., etc. So, all right. Same goes with my beauty product, just to very briefly visit that. So I have different kinds of beauty products. Some of them have variants. Some of them are just standard products with only one variant, so a default variant, with their own price, stock information, SKU, etc. And the idea here is that I want to visit together and go through like how I would create the bundles. I have created a simple one, just as an example. It's this guy. It's a console and a screen bundle, whatever, you can call it however you want. And this is a simple bundle, as you can see here. Right above the name tag, I have my shape identifier, or also here, right? So this is a simple bundle, has a description that this guy does not have. And I have drag and dropped a few products here just to create this bundle, of course, right? And the idea here being that this bundle includes one of each of these products, right? They do not have explicit quantities. So only one of these will be included in the bundle. And of course, I can fetch this information directly. Over here, of course, it's all my, as you can see, it's tons of images, right? But I can fetch and essentially present in a page all my product information, or the ones that this bundle consists of.
The difference between this and the quantity bundle that you have created several systems, here it is only one of each product. And because in a semantic meaning here, it doesn't make sense to add another gaming controller to an item relation, because what you're basically doing is just stating to the API, this is all the information that I need to get out from the API. So that's why also there is a restriction. You can't add the same item multiple times in an item relation. So the workaround then is to create a chunk, so you can specify the quantity.
So let's just do that, shall we?
Let's do that.
So let's do a beauty bundle.
I would do the console again, just to show, so we can compare, and then we'll do the beauty.
Okay, sure, all right. I was super happy to get my beauty bundle up and running.
Yeah,
so let's do quantity one.
Yeah, do that.
All right, cool. So my console bundle, of course, it will have a product image. I don't have a specific one right now, dang it. But okay, forget it. All right, so let's just stick to this guy. So essentially, what we are able to do here is that I am able to define my multiple chunks, right? So here, as you can see, I am prompted to drag and drop a shape product here, right? As my chunk input. So let's just do under products, electronics, and I do my gaming controller, or my console, actually. So I drag and drop my console, and for this guy here, as you can see, the unit is quantity. And of course, this bundle includes only one of these consoles, right? And since this is a repeatable chunk, I'm able to add more bundles, or more bundle products per se. So second one, I will add a, I guess, gaming controller, right, Didrik?
Yes.
And I would guess that this guy includes, let's say, 2 or something.
Let's say 2. Let's say that the console is just the console without the controller.
Yes. Let's do
then
it.
you need 2 gaming controllers.
Maybe the charger will be individual as well.
But, well, yeah, I do know some companies that like to sell everything separately.
Exactly. So let's say that you buy separately these 2 controllers, and I'm also including 3 games, for instance, this whatever kind of game. And perhaps here, and it's 2 things here. So one would be that I would like to define, for instance, this can go really complex or really simple. So I will be able to, for instance, define that instead of a single product that I have here, so 3 games, it could be a relation to instead of a product, it could be a relation to a folder where the games lie underneath. And of course, people could choose their own games, and I will be able to define the logic here, and of course, make sure that it's solid and valid when I place an order. So I'm able to check the logic.
You know what, Cyrus, just for demo purposes, because what you have done here is stating that you have 3 of the same game. Here you will get 3 console games.
Yes, that's
and
what this...
It is one product. But what you could do, like you said, is to create a relation to a folder with all the games. And then we can state that the user needs to pick 3 games when it is
exactly. So again, it lies again to what you would like to match and what you would like to prompt the user to see on the screen, right? So this is one case, this is one idea, right? The more, let's say, complex bundle. Same goes with, I think the beauty product is a better example instead of buying the 3 of these. So I'll just go ahead and do that real quick. So let's go and build my beauty bundle. Like so. And it's a quantity. Huh?
I'm excited.
Yeah, this is a beauty bundle. I'm not super familiar with all the beauty products, but let's see what we can come up with. Yes. So for this guy, I have an image actually. So, all right. So the idea here is that I'm able to define a price, right? So this is 50 euros, for instance. This is my beauty bundle 1, 2, 3. It doesn't matter. This guy I can define as a virtual product, right? It's a bundle. I don't really need to track the stock here. And what I can do, again, it's exactly the same concept. If I go back to my products and my beauty products, I will add that this guy includes 1 soap or silky smooth soap, whatever. It can include a moisturizer cream. It could be including 2 of these, and it could be including, like, I don't know, 5 hand creams as you can see in this image, you have like more than 1 creams. Actually have 3, but anyway. Essentially, I'm able to define this. I don't need to track the stock individually for the bundle, but what I can do is that before I place an order or after I place the order, I can deduct the stock individually of these products depending on the quantity that the chunk is telling me essentially to deduct. So let's publish this guy. And I want to discuss like 2 things here. So the first thing is, right, let's say, Didrik, that you want to have a product in a page, and then similar to what Amazon does, right? So you're gonna go and buy a MacBook, and then right underneath the product description, you have, all right, commonly purchased by users is this bundle. So a MacBook, a keyboard, and a mouse of sorts. So, and I think it's a pretty common case. So let's say that you want to promote a bundle specifically for that product. I think it's not super uncommon, right? I'm not right. So okay, I think it's 2 ways you can do this in Crystallize. So I want to showcase a very simple query here, and then we can go change the shape. What you can do here is essentially use the inverse relation component in the shape, in a query. So as you can see here, I have built a very simple query. It doesn't have anything super specific. I'll just focus on this guy a little bit. So over here, I'm fetching an item. I'm fetching it by ID. It's one of the items we saw earlier. And what I have here is I am fetching relating items to this product. So this guy will fetch me all the essentially bundles that this product belongs to. And if you've seen that I've run that already, I am running this query, fetching back all the bundles. Actually, we defined in the second one now with the multiple controllers, and I can create and fetch all the information for that bundle directly in my product page if I'm showing this product in its own, of course, page. So I can totally do that directly here. Get all the information, price variant information. I can fetch all the components if I want to, right? So I can do components here. I can do item relation or on item relations, etc. Something like this.
Just for information again, Stavros, your currently on the PIM API, which is also open with the access tokens. But what you would do is, of course, doing this on the catalog API, because instead of
that's
fetching
your
by IDs, you would fetch it by path.
That's correct. That's correct. That is a big, I guess, mistake from my side. But I want to showcase that essentially that is the key to fetching the items. That was the what you would use in a query essentially.
Yeah, and
that's the power here.
It's the same. It's the same properties. It's
so it's exposed also there.
Yeah.
But I want to showcase like basically relating items. I tend to have that open usually. Yeah. But that is the first way of doing these things. But let's say that, all right, someone says, okay, Stavros, maybe I want to have something more unique. I want to define and show a specific bundle for each product. How do I do that? So for each bundle, for each product, excuse me, I want to showcase only one bundle, and I want to be able to manage that myself. All right, so the answer is super simple, right? So I go to shapes, I go to my product, and I will go and define an item relation as well on top of the rest, which will be bundle. And this will be featured bundle. And of course, you can add the specific shape here. I won't go ahead and do that right now. Cool. And then if I go to one of my products and electronics, and I go to my gaming console, which is great. All right, I have my beautiful marketing material here that I don't have currently. But if I go to the bundles, I will be able to add, the promoted bundle here directly in my products view. So I have access that directly from the catalog, and I can choose only one bundle to showcase if I want to do so. So again, this brings back the discussion on, all right, I want to create a page. How do I want to create it? How do I want that to look? And then I will go in, and we've discussed that like tons of times, right? And then I will go and define the schemas and what looks best for my case.
We could also do one last iteration, unscripted, just because I have the idea. That is, by bundling products, you can also make, let's say that you want to sell a computer, like we usually have an example, but you want to upsell stuff as well. Let's
like
say
this
that
laptop thing.
Yeah, with that laptop thing. You could state in a chunk that if you go into the shape, just to model it out.
Yeah, sure.
If you check here, instead of having an item relation
to the bundle,
create a
chunk. Okay, let's create it on top. Cool.
In there, just call it bundles, maybe bundle options even. Because we can call it a bundle, but you can choose between items to create your own bundle, basically, or the user can create your own bundle. They choose between products that we define. Using the same way as we did for the
quantity one?
Yeah, the quantity bundle. We could add item relation.
Okay. Boom.
In here, and call it products. Instead of having or explaining min-max and defining that, we'll just keep it open because we don't know how many products you can choose between. That's up to the catalog, right? Then you can say also, once again, take a number component. All
right, numeric, there we go.
Yeah, and we call it, quantity might be a bad just for semantics now, but call it amounts or amount picked or options maybe. That's kind of better because here we define how many options a user had. How many can they define per chunk?
Okay.
Right? So if you update that now.
Boom. Let's do it.
There. And if you go to the computer.
Products, electronics, and let's go to the laptop.
Yeah, I wished you had more than a mouse and a keyboard. I wished you had multiple, but we can show it anyway. We'll showcase it. Let's say that instead of adding a keyboard and a mouse, you can choose between a keyboard or a mouse.
A keyboard or a mouse.
Yeah, that's included in this computer.
Okay.
So you drag and drop a keyboard.
Boom.
You drag and drop a mouse. And then you say that, okay, options is 1. Options is maybe a bad word, but at least you need to pick 1.
Okay, so you can essentially select one of these to add to your bundle.
Yeah.
But I guess here you would also add perhaps a price as well, which would be
maybe you'll add an additional price, or you use the base price of the product that is selected. That's up to the customer experience. And we could do the same. Now we forgot to make this chunk repeatable, but we could add another where you could choose between adding a monitor or adding a gaming console, because it's included in as an option to this computer.
Nice. And again, I think this matches perfectly to what we're saying like all this time, right? So essentially you can build exactly what you want, but you need to define as first steps what you want it to be looking like. And of course, like we did actually live right now, you can of course iterate over it and change a few things if you want to, right? There's no stopping you there.
No, exactly. But
perfect.
What we're essentially saying is that, and what we started with is that now we're planning ahead. This is what we are going to create before we open the code or the playground. Then we'll get into building it in the front end. But then again, it's up to the user journey and how it is supposed to be defined.
Exactly. Perfect. I think that's what we want to showcase, right? We covered up.
Let's not drag it on.
Yeah. I think it was good enough. I think this bundle options will give you quite a few ideas as to how you can map things, of course, differently for your case or exactly as you want it to be looking like. But in any case, if you guys have any questions regarding it, make sure to, of course, join the Crystallize community and reach out to any one of us. Happy to answer any of the questions related to bundles or pretty much anything else on the platform. And we will, in the future, be showing, of course, code examples of that in the butter plates and in many more places. So stay tuned for that. But until then, thank you for joining very much. And we wish you, I guess, a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.